Hello my dear students, welcome back to our class, and today in this class we will study a poem of class 9th, Wind, composed by Subramania Bharati. So before moving towards the explanation part of the poem, we will discuss about the poet. Chinnaswamy Subramania Bharati, also known as Bharatiyar, lifespan 11th December 1882 up to 11th September 1921. Was a Tamil writer, poet, journalist, Indian independence activist, a social reformer, and a polyglot. Popularly known as Mahakavi Bharati, he was a pioneer of modern Tamil poetry and is considered one of the greatest Tamil literary figures of all time. Subramania Bharati composed this poem in Tamil and it was translated from Tamil by A.K. Ramanujan. Now, we'll move towards the introduction to the poem. We all know that wind is a natural occurrence, and in this poem the poet describes the power of wind. Here, poet talks about the destructions caused by the wind. The wind blows out the weak things or people, and only the strong things or people survive. In this poem, wind is symbolized as adversaries or obstacles of life in which only tough people survive, and the weak ones are blown out. Hence, the poem gives us a message that we should keep ourselves mentally and physically strong to face the challenges of life. We must make friendship with these challenges with our firm determination and strong willpower. Through this poem, the poet wants to say that we have to be strong and firm in adverse situations. Since we cannot control the happenings of our lives, then we have to make ourselves ready for the challenges of life. Hence, the poet suggests us to build up a strong character to face the adverse situations of life. This is the main intro of the poem. Now, we will move towards the theme of the poem. The poet tells us that there are many obstacles and problems we may come across in our lifetime, and that we should not run away from them. Instead, we should learn how to face them. Often we try to run away from the situations. We don't want to face the adverse circumstances of our life. But running from the problems can't be the solution. So hence the poet suggests us to face the problem. And it is only possible if we are having strong character. The poet tells us that we should build ourselves physically and mentally to go against the wind. It teaches us to withstand the onslaught of the wind and think smartly while facing these problems. Sometimes it happens when we can't understand the happenings of our life. In such cases, we have to keep patience and faith in ourselves and face the challenges of the life. But it is only possible when we are having strong character. So this is the main thing on which the poet is giving the emphasis to build up a strong character. Now we are going to start the text and explanation part. It's my request to all the students to keep their ears open while studying. So the first stanza here, where the poet says, "Wind comes softly, don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf." In the first stanza of the poem, the poet depicts the destructions caused by the wind. In the very first line, you can see wind comes softly. So here the poet appeals to the wind to blow gently. Here, in the first line, wind comes softly, poet appeals to the wind to blow gently. In the last three lines, he requests the wind not to break the shutters of the window, not to scatter the papers or throw the books off the shelf. Here the poet describes the wind as a powerful and destructive phenomenon. It is quite similar in our life. Often we try to control the situations, but can we be able to control the situations that are happening in our life? Surely we can't. So the problems, the negative circumstances will come. That's a fact. And we can't change them. It is also a fact. So here we can see the common behavior of a human being. Okay, that is the poet here. The same thing is being done by the poet who tries to control the phenomena. He is asking the wind to blow slow, gently. Is it possible? It is not possible. So, this is the main essence of the stanza. Now, moving toward the next stanza. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. So, here the poet says to the wind to look at the destruction that it had done. The wind has not only thrown the books but also torn the pages of the books. Then the poet accuses the wind for bringing in rain, as rainwater can make the situation worse. So, here sometime it happens in our lives too that problems come in a group, and in such situations we feel helpless, and such situations are quite hard to deal with as well. So, we lose our temper, we start blaming that situation or problem for the mess of our life. The same thing is being done by the poet here. He is blaming or accusing the wind for the mess of his life. And here the strong and gusty wind signifies trouble in our life. In the next stanza, you can see what the poet says. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. So, in the opening lines of the stanza, the poet accuses the wind of troubling the meek or fragile people, those who can't protect themselves from the harshness of the world. Here are some words as well, we have to keep an eye over them as well. Poking fun means here making fun of something. Weaklings means a person who is weak. Crumbling means falling or to cause something to break. Rafter means sloping beam which support the roof of the building. Winnows means to separate grain from husk by blowing on it. So, here the poet, we can say here the poet tells us the nature of wind, that it always trouble the meek and fragile people, the people those who can't protect themselves from the harshness of the world. And then he talks about what are the destructions caused by the wind. The wind blows out everything that are not enough strong to bear its blows, such as houses, doors, rafters, wood, bodies and lives, etc. Everything that is weak reacts by falling down and breaking in the face of adversity. So, the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any adversity or challenges in their lives, he breaks. In his life, he breaks down and falls. The poet is addressing to wind as wind god, and he says that the powerful god of wind winnows. That means he shifts all those people who are weak, fall down and get crushed. So, here a comparison is being made between wheat and people. Just like we winnow the wheat to separate the grain from chaff, the wind god separates the strong people from the weak people. When there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and get crushed. So, here the poet tells us the nature of wind. Just as wind always destroys the weak and fragile people or things, similarly the tough situations, the adversities always trouble the people, those who are having weak character. Such adversaries ruin the weak people and the stronger ones grow out of it. So, here the poet contrasts the weak and strong people. Now, in the next stanza, what he says, he won't do what you tell him. So, come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly, practice to form the body, make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friends with us. Steadfast means firm. So, in this stanza, the poet gives suggestions that what should we do to make the wind our friend, or to cope up with the adverse situations. What should we do to deal with the problems? Here the poet states that wind do not listen to us, as it is too self-willed, or we can say egoistic. So we have to protect ourselves. We must build strong structures, firm foundations, so that wind cannot destroy it. In preparation, we should build strong homes and close the doors of our houses firmly so that the wind cannot get into. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and hearts firm to face these challenges. And then once we are strong enough, all the challenges will be like friends. We will not feel that they are troublesome. Then such adversaries will make us stronger. So here the poet asks us to build our character, make our body and mind strong. Then only we can be able to deal with the problems of life. This is the message that he wants to convey through these lines. Now the concluding stanza of the poem, let's find out what does the poet say here. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Here the word flourish means grow. In the concluding stanza, the poet talks about the merits and demerits of the wind. The wind can blow down weak fire, but it can give more force to the fierce burning fire. Here the poet clarifies that the wind, that is a symbol of adversaries of human life, always trouble the ones, those who are weak in character. And once those who have strong characters, they grow out of it and live a happy and prosperous life. Similarly, they are similar to fierce burning fire. Fierce burning fire, it's a symbol for the people, those who are strong. And the weak fire, it's a symbol of the weak people, those who are weak in character. He is also comparing the wind to God. He says that wind is God and we praise wind every day. Thus the poet concludes here that the wind is friend to the strong but enemy to the weak. In other way, poem gives us a message that if we are having strong character, then we can overcome all odds and challenges thrown by life. And once we are strong enough, we will overcome the challenges, we will become friends with them, and then we will be happy that we had these challenges in our life, because they help us to become more stronger and better. So just as the wind doesn't harm the strong things, similarly the adverse situations cannot harm the strong person or people. So the main message of the poem is this, that we have to build up our character, strengthen ourselves physically and mentally, so that we can able to cope up with each and every situation of our life, whether it is better or worse. Now move towards the literary devices of the poem. If we talk about the rhyme scheme, there is no rhyme scheme. Why? Because the poem is written in free verse, so there is no rhyme scheme in the poem. And the literary devices used in the poem are as follows. First literary device that has been used here, anaphora. The repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses or lines. Successive means continuous lines. So here a word don't in lines 2, 3, 4 begin with don't, so it's an anaphora. Lines 6, 7 and 8 begin with you, so it's another example of anaphora. Talk about personification. Personification is a figure of speech in which non-living things or abstract ideas are presented as the living ones. So here wind has been personified in this poem. The poet treats the wind as a person by addressing it as you or he. Some other devices. Repetition. Crumbling is repeated many times to lay emphasis. You can see crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters. So the poet wants to say that the wind crushes everything that is weak, and that's why he repeats the word crumbling. It's an example of repetition. Alliteration. The repetition of a consonant sound in close connection. You can see the example, wind, winnows, what sound is repeating? Won't, want. Here what sound is repeating? Symbolism. Symbolism means that the thing refers to some other thing. Wind is a symbol here. it refers to the challenges in life, or we can say the poet is using wind as a symbol of adversities of our lives or in our lives. So it's a symbol, and it's an example of metaphor as well, because wind is a metaphor to challenges or obstacles in human lives. Now the summary of the poem. In the poem Wind, the poet describes wind as a naughty creature who comes and destroys everything. The poet says that the wind will blow away papers and wind will pull down the bookshelves. The strong wind even tears away the pages of the books. Then the poet says that the wind also brings rain along with it. The poet requests the wind not to cause any destruction. The poet says that we can symbolize the wind as a problem in our life. The person who is emotionally weak won't survive the problems and will break down easily, while a strong person will survive in such circumstance. So it's a clear message of the poem that a person who is weak in character, they cannot able to cope up with the situations. Why? Because they are having weak character. Wind, it's a phenomena and it is a symbol of adversaries in human life. So whenever the challenges and adversaries will come in our life, we cannot control them. What we are having in our hand, we have to make ourselves strong. So if we make our character strong, if we make our body and mind strong, then we can be able to deal with the situations, whether it is better or worse. Okay, so this is the main message that the poet wants to deliver through the poem. Now here are some multiple choice questions for you, so find out the answers. What does the wind do? It throws down all the books on the shelf. It tears the pages of the books. It brings the rain again. All the above. So I think all the above is correct. Now the next question. What does the wind poke fun at? Weak houses and weak doors, weak rafter and weak wood, weak hearts and weak bodies, any living or non-living thing that is weak and crumbling. So which one is correct? Yeah, D option is correct. Okay. In the next question, the wind god winnows anything that is big and strong, anything that is weak and crumbling, anything that is in this world, anything that is not natural. So what is the correct answer? Yeah, B option is correct, anything that is weak and crumbling. Question number 4. We can make friends with the wind god if we are true, honest, strong, respectful. So according to the poem you have to give answer. Yeah, strong. C option is correct. We can make friends with the wind god if we are strong. What is the central idea of the poem? We should make friends with the wind god. If we are strong, even gods will be on our side. God helps the weak and the needy. We should love all creatures of God. Which one is correct? Yeah, B option is correct. If we are strong, even gods will be on our side. And this is the message of the poem as well. So thanks for watching the video. I hope that you like it. And if you have any sort of query, you can ask your queries in the comment section.